Mindset Game Podcast, and I'm your host, James Roberts. Before we get started with this week's show, first off, let me take this opportunity to welcome back the regular listeners. And if this is your first time listening to the show, I hope you enjoy this episode and decide to subscribe to the show. Today's episode is going to be slightly a bit different. It's going to be a short one with just me. So before we get started with today's episode, I'd like to wish you all happy holidays and hope you got everything that you wish for. In today's topic, I'm going to discuss how we define success. What do we truly mean by success? Well, we can look at it at three different ways. First is mind. Obviously, the mindset is how do we view success. The second is body. How do we look at it from a physical standpoint? And the last one is obviously the environmental one, is how do other people look at success through you. So if we look at that first one, obviously, of the mind first, obviously it's a mindset on what do you really determine as success. It could be a multitude of different things. Obviously, everybody has their own definition of what success is, and what does truly success mean. It could mean it could mean a totally different thing for everybody. Obviously, from the body perspective, and obviously from an imagery standpoint, of it would be looking at more from, say, the fitness and health side of things. Obviously, how do I perceive my appearance to look like? And have I successfully achieved my goals, be it from that health and fitness perspective? Obviously, when we come to the third point of the environmental factors of how other people perceive success and look at if you have been successful. Obviously, in the past, most people didn't really care what other people thought of them. It's probably a societal change where this day and age, everybody really cares what the outside world thinks of them. Obviously, from a psychological standpoint and a mental perspective, we've kind of gone away from things of the old nature of thinking. It'd be better to think positive of what you've done as opposed to what somebody else done, because you can't change that perspective to a certain extent. Whereas if you look inwards, there's loads of things you can change. So it's that societal change where we are thinking more of what other people think of ourselves as opposed to looking inwards and really concentrating on ourselves. Obviously, to break those down into ways in which you can change that and become successful, the first one what I'd like to talk to you guys about is obviously visionary success. Obviously, this is goes with the idea of the SMART system, which most people have heard of. Obviously, the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time frame goal setting is probably you've heard about more so than visionary success. When we break them down, obviously in terms of specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time frame, it is good to, obviously, when you have a goal in mind, is to be specific. Okay, I want to achieve such and such. Be it when we say measurable, make that realistic. So, I don't know, you'd like to lose between an inch of body weight within 3 months. That is a measurable goal, but it is also a realistic one. And obviously, I've kind of put all three into one go. Okay, I was specific, I was measurable. It's an achievable goal, it's realistic, and I've also given it a time frame within that 3 months. To kind of look at it on the grander scheme of it and look at it, say, if you had a goal in mind and it is possibly unrealistic in the short term, obviously you can look at more so it's termed The Road to Success by Greg White, and what he means by that is obviously breaking down the goals into smaller chunks. So looking at macro cycling, obviously that's the time frame. Obviously you've got that goal in mind to achieve something within a year. That's your macro. You're going to break that down into a mesocycle, which is slightly smaller, and then obviously the microcycling is looking at it, be it if you wanted to be really nitpicky on it, you could look at it as a microcycle day by day, be it you can look at it either day by day, month by month, day by day, week by week, or month by month, and obviously that's your macro cycle. Obviously your mesocycle would be month by month, and in the grander scheme of it, the macro cycling would be your year. Obviously we can break that down even further to, okay, you've got a goal that you want to achieve within a year. We'll look to set a goal within 6 months, which would be generally, in most cases, the halfway point of your overall goal. And then your short-term goal would be obviously at 3 months. So you've got more realistic goals, because we'll set you a target of one at 3 months, 6 months, and by the time you get to a year, you'll have ticked off each one along the way, and obviously there'll be little goals within those 3 months, 6 months, and the year to look at the macro cycling. So you've got how would I say it, to keep you motivated and to keep that commitment drive going, and to keep you going to go into the gym and on that healthy lifestyle, so you're able to sustain these lifestyle changes for that foreseeable future. So those are my take homes from today's the smart goal setting and breaking it down into macro cycling, meso and microcycling. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below, and alternatively as well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on any content you'd like to hear in the future. And before I forget, I would really appreciate it if you would be so kind as to leave a short written review, as it helps to get the podcast more notoriety, and it would be more visible in future to others, and thus helping more people, which my guests and I are all about. Once again, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time for another episode of the Mindset Game Podcast.